This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news: the Sandals Emerald Bay Resort staging a recruitment drive for employees to work at its property in Exuma. Resort executives say the demand for additional workers has intensified, and they've been canvassing the entire country for frontline workers. Grand Bahama was just one of the stops. Our Joan Davis Roll has the top story.
A premier resort in Exuma, Sandals Emerald Bay, is in search of employees after that property, which boasts of occupancy in the high 90s, is witnessing an exodus of workers as the mega Bahama resort in New Providence prepares to officially open. Residents on Grand Bahama meeting a team of officials as they attempt to answer the call for workers during a job fair held at the Pelican Bay Resort. Human Resources Manager at Sandals Emerald Bay in Exuma, Antoinette Boleg.
We have a number of open positions right now, and then we will have attrition with the opening of the Bahama because we're seeing that already.
Persons are leaving Exuma to go to Nassau?
Yes, persons who we've brought in from Nassau now have opportunities available to them back home, so they're taking advantage of that opportunity and they're moving on. So we are now looking to build our banks for future when persons move on.
Boleg says the Exuma-based resort, which currently employs some 600 persons, has unlimited opportunities, but a limited pool of local workers from which to choose.
In Exuma, a small island with a very small population, we find it hard to, due to attrition, to find replacements for our team members. So we've decided to go on the road. We've been doing a family island recruitment exercise. We first started out in North Andros last week, Thursday and Friday. And then Monday and Tuesday, we were in Eleuthera, the Governor's Harbor, Rocksound, and North Eleuthera area. And today we find ourselves here in Freeport to spend the day with you here to see, what perspectives we can find here. Tomorrow we will be in Long Island, Deadman's Key, Long Island, doing the same thing.
She says the positions within the hospitality sector in Exuma vary, with openings in some key areas.
Right now we have open positions in our kitchen area where we're looking for cooks. Spa therapists is a desperate need for us. We need some more spa therapists. We have dining room servers, butlers. We will be looking to have persons join our butler team. Also, the housekeeping department, we're looking for room attendants, turn-down attendants, housemen, public area attendants.
Emerald Bay officials say their efforts will not stop here. Their goal is to travel the family islands in search of Bahamian workers to fill positions at that Exuma-based resort. Reporting for ZNS Network News, I'm Joan Davis Roll.
Well, it was the nation's leader who made the announcement last Thursday during the Grand Bahama Business Outlook regarding the sale of the Port Lucaya marketplace. Tonight, President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority is discussing this change in ownership and what it could mean for this island. It's been in the works for a while now, but the sale of the Port Lucaya marketplace is finalized. President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, spoke exclusively with ZNS News on what the port's role was in this process.
We were very instrumental, we the Port Authority, in causing this transaction to happen. We have two local investors already on the island. One is Peter Hunt and Smoil Hushkovich. And these individuals were encouraged to invest more in the island.
Port Lucaya has been the main attraction on Grand Bahama for many years, with tourists flocking to the area to shop, dine, and for entertainment. But Roll explains why the sale of the island's premier shopping mecca is not just significant for the area, but Grand Bahama on the whole.
They want to do so much more and also bring friends to do more for Freeport. So that transaction is more than just a simple sale of Port Lucaya Marketplace. It's the start of something special in that we are looking to persons who have already invested in the island and want us to introduce other opportunities for them to cause growth in Freeport. So it's a very significant transaction.
Roll also addressed the concern of whether or not businesses in Port Lucaya will be asked to move or relocate.
Just like when we own it, if you don't pay your bills, then you'll probably be asked to move. But outside of that, I have no knowledge of them wanting persons to move.
On a positive note, he says plans are already in motion to revitalize Port Lucaya Marketplace.
The first order of the day is to tidy it up a bit, give it a bit of a facelift, and also to cause more traffic to come to the marketplace. I think they also want to get involved with some construction, new construction on the site, and bring more brands to the area.
The country's aggressive immigration stance, the topic of a panel discussion hosted by the Grand Bahama chapter of the International Federation of Women's Lawyers. Kimberly Mullings has the story.
How many Haitian Bahamian kids?
It remains the subject of a heated debate. The Bahamas' immigration policy that's now being enforced. During a forum hosted by FIDA on Grand Bahama, panelist attorney Fred Smith, QC, charged that the policy is a violation of one's human rights, be it a foreigner or not.
Because today it is the Haitian or the Bahamian of Haitian descent. Because there are thousands of people born in the Bahamas who are entitled to citizenship. I call them citizens in waiting, born after 1973, who are entitled at the age of 18 to be registered as citizens. What's the big problem?
DOB Professor Felix Bethel says he's merely looking forward to the day all Bahamians respect migrating foreigners by accepting them. He says it's one way Bahamians can progress as a people.
I'm fascinated by the idea that we are called to embrace the stranger, so that in the embrace of the stranger, he is stranger no more.
Attorney Wayne Monroe QC applauded the Bahamian government for enforcing laws concerning foreigners, noting that these policies are no different than those of other countries, many of which have higher populations than the Bahamas' 350,000. Attorney Monroe summed up his views using one single analogy.
All over the world, it is about organized migration. This is my house. If I welcome you into my house, that is my choice. What you cannot do is barge into my house, go in my fridge, sit on my sofa, sleep in my bed, decide that you're going to have 4 or 5 children, and then because you have them in my house where you were not welcome, they own my house. It doesn't happen like that.
Following the presentations, the panelists fielded comments and questions from the audience, some of whom wanted clarification on certain processes, and others shared their own experiences as foreigners and Bahamians alike. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Well, Immigration Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, commending Attorney Wayne Monroe for what he calls his sensible and balanced approach to the issue. He says while Professor Felix Bethel has taken a Christian position, he takes exception to the comments made by human rights activist Attorney Fred Smith.
He well knows that every country has the same strictures, and the Bahamas is no different. His movement, such as it is, and I believe there are only 2 people in it, trying to portray people as victims, and all the evidence we have is that these journeys cost anywhere from $1,500 to $5,000 a head, which means that these policies are interrupting sophisticated criminal enterprise. Right now, we are in a situation where the detention center is overflowing with migrants. That this has been done deliberately to try and swamp the country's ability to deal with this issue. Smith has to decide which side he's on, whether he's for Bahamians or whether he's against Bahamians.
Now, illegal immigration is also a hot-button issue for other countries in the region. One in particular is the Turks and Caicos Island. Italia Hall reports on the challenges in that country.
Illegal immigration remains a hot topic here in the Bahamas, and it is an issue of concern for other countries in the region as well. In an interview with ZNS News, the Speaker of the House of Assembly of Turks and Caicos Island and former Immigration Minister, the Honorable Robert Hall, says although Turks and Caicos is smaller in size and population, they have an ongoing struggle with illegal immigrants as well.
We are situated just 90 miles north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic. And like a former minister used to say, if some people set off in a bathtub from Haiti, they'll reach Turks and Caicos. And so we have a major challenge with the Haitian boat people, just like the Bahamas. On an average, we are repatriating about 300 illegal Haitians monthly, costing us in excess of $1 million a year. So it's certainly a drain on our financial, social, and health services.
He says it is a slightly different situation with other nationalities and the circumstances are tragic at times.
You would find that despite the news carrying those stories, there are still hundreds of Haitians lining up to take the next voyage. And so that's a major problem for us. There are a number of illegal Haitians back in the Turks and Caicos Islands. And of course, when we find them, we repatriate them. But it's always like a recurring decimal. So at any given time, there would still be fair numbers of illegal, and I say Haitians, not that I want to single them out, but that's the largest group.
Hall says the way forward is to obtain several boats with the capability to sleep 8 crew members, where they would be allowed to be out to sea for several days at a time.
They fly, for instance, midway between Haiti and the Turks and Caicos Islands, and were to say that all is clear, no boat is coming, bearing in mind the speed that those boats tend to make, then certainly hardly anyone would arrive, as it were, overnight under the cover of darkness. But we have not yet been able to do that. And I think that's the direction we may need to go if we are to clean that whole thing up.
It's Talia Hall, Sandals Network News.
Stay with us, there's more news right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The religious tourism market is a multi-million-dollar industry, and the Ministry of Tourism is partnering with a local church to host a major religious event over the next 2 days. Joan Davis-Roll reports.
The religious tourism sector to get a much-needed boost as this island prepares to host another global icon in the gospel industry. Hundreds of persons from throughout the Bahamas and the United States are expected in town for the stellar event. This week, Calvary Temple Assemblies of God Church on Clive Avenue, Freeport, will present Show Me Your Glory, featuring world-renowned gospel recording artist Pastor William McDowell. Excited about this upcoming event is host pastor Reverend Robert Lockhart.
I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the Calvary Temple family to just invite the whole community, not just the church community, but the whole community to Show Me Your Glory Worship Conference 2015. Proclaim the sound from the islands, nation await, right here at Calvary Temple, beginning on Wednesday, March 11th through to Friday, March 13th. And I just want to emphasize Wednesday and Thursday is totally free and it's open to everyone to be at that conference. Of course, on Friday night is the Show Me Your Glory worship, and we don't just want to call it a concert, but a worship experience. And of course, our pastor William McDowell is going to be with us, international recording artist, but not only a recording artist, he's a pastor and a minister of God who uses his gifts and abilities in music to prophetically minister to God's people.
Manager of Religious Tourism at the Ministry of Tourism, Debbie Heiler, along with Minister Alexandro Major, says the event will not only be a tremendous worship experience, but will once again showcase the Bahamas as a place where God lives.
This event, I am sure, is going to be a fantastic one that we also invite Grand Bahama to come out to and be a part of. We know that the Ministry of Tourism is now presenting various events, especially in the faith-based area, to come to Grand Bahama. We've been advertising for a long time, and this, especially Grand Bahama Island, has been dubbed the island of religious events. And this is no exception.
Pastor William McDowell that's going to be here. He's bringing his entire team with him. So he's coming just to minister. He is coming to pour into Grand Bahama. So Grand Bahama, you don't want to miss this time. Show Me Your Glory Worship Conference. It's going to be a time where we experience God and we ask him for exactly that, to show us his glory and to experience him in the fullness of who he is.
Joan Davis-Roll, ZNS Network News.
Thank you, June. Well, members of the Constitutional Commission on Grand Bahama tonight for the first in a series of town meetings to discuss the proposed changes to the Constitution on gender equality. Tonight's meeting is currently underway at the St. Stephen's Parish Hall in 8 Mile Walk. Tomorrow, the commission will meet with high school students at the Sir Charles Hayward Library at 10 a.m. and then at 6:30 p.m. the commission will move to the west at the St. Mary Magdalene Anglican Church in West End. The commission will return next week for another series of meetings. And that's a look at stories making news this evening. Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we return.
Welcome to Sports, everybody. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Let's get right to it. The Grand Bahama High School Track and Field Championships completing day 4 of competition at the Grand Bahama Sports Complex. Let's get you up to speed. On the track on day 4, the Junior Girls 2,000 meter run, it had a field of 8 athletes. A grueling race, but it was the Panthers. It was Delisa Booth who won it in 8 minutes and 9.99 seconds. Teammate Sasha Grant second, and also Jackie with Tony Glow was third. The Senior Girls 3,000 also run today. Crefter Standard 10 minutes and 50 seconds. BMAS Warriors Lenise Gibson won it in 12 minutes 2 seconds off the mark. Jada Strawn and St. George second. Igmar Rockaliga Lightborn was third. The junior boys triple jump also one of the events in the field today. The Wildcats, Keanu Ferguson, a jump of 10.92 meters. That's the goal. Delano Newman second and Giovanni Thompson third. Senior girls triple jump today. The Falcons, Jasmine Sutherland won it in 10.63 meters. LaShawn Hyla second and also LaShawn Williams was third. Senator Julian Russell taking in the high school track meet. Jasmine Sutherland receiving the senior girls triple jump gold, and the Falcons lead the senior division with 190 points. St. George's 8 points back at 182. Jack Haywood 126. The junior division leader is the Jack Haywood Junior Wildcats at 137 points. 8 more Rockets 131. Sister Mary Patricia Russell and Tabernacle 85.5 and 84.5. Also today was the heats of the 400 meters and the hurdles. The 200 meters, 840 meters will all be run as a final tomorrow. And the Bahama Bay Resort and Marina hosted the Guy Harvey Wahoo Tournament. Some $30,000 in cash and prizes was awarded for this one. 25 boats fished the Guy Harvey Outpost signature Burning Wahoo bonfire at the Old Bahama Bay Resort and Marina. It was a 2-day event for the anglers and their families. $30,000 in cash and prizes to the winners of the Wahoo Tournament. Old Bahama Bay Marina features 72 slips and spacious beachfront resort. The GB Shipyard crew of the La Boheme used the tournament as a tune-up for this weekend. The resort with the barefoot elegance pleased all the anglers. Oh yeah, Joe Thompson and the crew landed some championship wahoos. They're also going to fish in the Shipyard tournament this weekend. The Minister of Tourism and Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Obi Wilshcombe, also stopped by to put his stamp of approval on the tournament. Next is the 5th Grand Bahama Shipyard Limited Youth Benefit Fishing Tournament. It's March 14th, and it's the Grand Bahama Yacht Club. And don't forget also that the Sands Golf Tournament is coming Sunday at the Fortune Hills Golf Course. 8 a.m. shotgun start. Got 15 golf balls. We'll lose them all in the bush. Guaranteed. That's a look at sports.